The first female Speaker of the House of Commons, Betty Boothroyd, has died at the age of 93. Before becoming Speaker, she served as a Labour MP from 1973. Well, the current Speaker of the House, Sir Lindsay Hoyle, has described her as an inspirational woman who was known for her no-nonsense style. Caroline Quinn looks back now on her life.
Betty Boothroyd's election as Speaker of the Commons left some members puzzled as to how they should address the first woman to hold the post. She left them in no doubt.
I stood up to my great height and I said, "Call me, madam."
She'd come from humble beginnings, born in 1929 in Dewsbury in Yorkshire. She'd had a colourful life before Westminster, in the 1940s enjoying a career as a dancer, as a member of the Tiller Girls troupe.
Vote Labour, vote Boothroyd.
And after working as a secretary for a number of Labour MPs, she finally joined their ranks herself.
The name of the candidate elected is Betty Boothroyd.
Serving as MP for West Bromwich West from 1974 until her elevation to the Lords in 2000.
And it's time they cleared out.
She was elected as Speaker in 1992, dragged to the chair in the traditional manner. She chose to dispense with the traditional wig. It felt too heavy, she said, too imperious. She had little patience with the demands from a new intake of Blairite MPs for family-friendly hours.
The House must be prepared to put in the hours necessary to carry out effective examination of the government's legislative programme.
And she took seriously her duty to keep sometimes fractious members in order.
I think it is time that members of this House grew up.
Betty Boothroyd said her most memorable moment was welcoming Nelson Mandela to the House of Commons. She held his hand to steady him as he walked down the stairs.
I say to all of you, in a phrase you know so well but has never been more true, time's up.
The announcement in 2000 that she was stepping down sparked impromptu and unconventional applause from both sides of the House.
I was enormously privileged to hold that position. And I went, I know, at the right time.
The former Tiller girl became a cheerful and hard-working addition to the House of Lords. A long career dedicated to cherishing the traditions of Parliament, but a woman who never lost her sense of fun.
Betty Boothroyd, the first female Speaker of the House of Commons, who has died at the age of 93.
Now, the pioneering achievements of Betty Boothroyd, the first female Speaker of the House of Commons, were remembered today after her death at the age of 93. Baroness Boothroyd, as she became known, served as Speaker for 8 years and as an MP for 2 decades. She was praised today for her no-nonsense style of dealing with unruly MPs and also for her humour and quick wits. Our correspondent John Ray looks back at her extraordinary and inspiring life.
The office she held has a long history, but Betty Boothroyd made it her own.
Order! Order!
The first woman in the Commons hot seat. And in an era when TV cameras were still new to the chamber, she relished the limelight.
Yes, point of order.
A love of performance was in her blood.
My memories are of living at the Theatre Girls Club in Greek Street in Soho.
She was famously a dancer in a West End chorus line. But as the daughter of a Yorkshire textile worker, so too was the Labour movement, though the audition for Westminster was a long one.
The main issues have been cost of living, rent and old age pensions.
Miss Boothroyd, do you find being a woman a drawback in politics?
No, I don't. Perhaps in some personal respects it's a drawback, but not really. I think that I can cope equally as well as a man would in the House of Commons.
Not until 1973 did she secure a seat.
Really, at that time, you've got to remember the House of Commons was overwhelmingly men. In fact, when she was elected to the Speaker's chair, it was 90% men, the House of Commons, and 10% women, and yet she managed to convince them that she was absolutely the right person.
It was the role she seemed born to. Impartial, formidable, a fierce defender of parliamentary tradition.
That is the point I am trying to get over.
She was a speaker that we were all in awe of. Quite rightly, a strong Yorkshire woman who came to the House, achieved every goal that she wanted to. And the fact that she was the first ever woman speaker, she broke that glass ceiling.
This afternoon, the Commons stood in quiet contemplation of her memory. It was a silent mirror of the rare applause that greeted her retirement.
Be happy for me.
Madam Speaker, who brought a little sparkle to an ancient office.
Oh, the inspirational Baroness Boothroyd, Betty Boothroyd, who's died at the age of 93.